What's up, everybody? Hey, it is Mike Widmer with the Expansion Real Estate Group. Happy Friday to you. What a weekend for Phoenix, huh? Got the Super Bowl here on Sunday. We got Super Bowl parties all weekend long. The Open's going on, which is a party in itself. You know, what a great time to be in Phoenix. Unless, of course, you want to drive somewhere, then it's a nightmare. It took me an hour and 45 minutes to go from Scottsdale to Buckeye yesterday. No, thank you for that. But should be a great weekend. Hope you guys all have a fun, safe weekend and enjoy it. So, what is our real estate market doing? Let's take a look. So, here is our trusty chart. So, really good news again for the market. We definitely kept our momentum going this month. So, we came into January at 99. And we ended up the month at 116. So a nice jump up again. We definitely kept the momentum from the start of the year. So, kind of looking right here over 22 years, this little uptick, it seems, it's there. But when you really zoom in, wait till you see this daily chart. Man, you can really see the difference we've taken over the last 60 days. The market has really started to correct. And all the way back here, November started December, we were actually in a buyer's market. Remember that range is from 90 to 110 is neutral, below 90 buyer's market, above 110 is a seller's market. And so just the last 6 days up, and up. And actually what happened in January, we actually crossed that threshold again into a seller's market. And just from being in the business and living it every single day, just this week, I had to write an offer with an escalation clause, right? That's where you try to get your highest offer in multiple offer situation. And I also had a client actually lose out on a house that they bid full price on. So definitely reminiscent of what we kind of went through the past 3 years with multiple offers and hot homes. So definitely want to keep an eye on this. Let's take a look at our chart here to kind of see our thermometer of everything, right? So today we're at 119.8, or actually yesterday. So we've went up about 4 points in the first part of February, and we've been kind of keeping that trajectory, about a half a point every single day. It's been going up, and you can see on that daily chart that line's going this way. I want to do something today, and I want to kind of show you a side-by-side of this chart, month over month, to really kind of show how this chart works and the supply and demand. So let's start from last month. So last month, the supply was at 69.6, and this month we're at 65.5. Definitely a big drop down. And then demand was at 73, and now it's at 78.5, a tick upwards. So two really great pieces of, data for the real estate market this month is pendings are up 40%. That is really good news, because remember, we were talking about how low our sales volume has been. Even again, this past month in January, we did less than 5,000 total sales. Again, we average between 9 and 11,000 each year per month. And we've been, for about, I think the third month in a row, we've been below 5,000. So that tick up in pendings should get that number up over 5,000, which would be great for us. And then another good news is new listings have actually went up to around 2,000 new listings a week, which is great because it was only around 700 per week in December. Even with that increase in new listings, the increase in pending has actually been greater. So our single family inventories actually went down. And that's why this number right here continues to drop. So last month when we did this video, we had 13,264 active single family homes. Today, just this minute, we are at 12,476. So it dropped about another 6% in January. So just got to keep on watching that inventory. One thing I always say in this video is that we don't try to predict anything. We try to, really watch the stats, see what's happening, and just gauge what's happened in the last 30 days or so to kind of get an idea of what we've been doing. One thing that we've been talking about a lot is interest rates. And this is really one thing I'm going to keep my eye on the next 30 days, because if you guys remember, in the summer, rates had came back down around 5%, and then they shot back up the last half of the year, and that's when the market really, really slowed down. Just this past week, on February 3rd, rates dipped below 6%. They were about 5.99. And just in this last 7 days, we have jumped from 5.99 up to 6.5 in just the last week. So it's going to be really interesting when we do this video next month, is what happens right here. Does that increase in rates actually level this off again? Does it go back down, or do we keep on, fighting up in our normal spring season? Because again, our spring season is usually our best time of the year, and again, we're going in that direction. So just really, I guess, exciting data for the market. Let me try to stop this here quick. So my thing I always say at the end of the videos too is, what does this mean for you as for your real estate, as a buyer or a seller or an investor? Is, my honest opinion, the market has really good energy right now. There's good activity. There's buyers coming out. There's sellers coming on the market. There's active listings. There's active negotiations. There's contracts being getting done. So if you've been kind of on the fence and, hey, should I sell? Should I buy? Maybe it's time for my first investment property. I think it's time that maybe you and I actually sat down, grab a cup of coffee, grab lunch, and just have a real conversation about it. Just really figure out where you're at and kind of what your steps are and what your options are and what might be the best choice for you and your family. So as always, I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you for everybody who signed up for the Valentine's Day giveaway. That was a huge success. Congratulations to Katie and Aaron Upchurch. They have to go to dinner on the 14th, Valentine's Day. Keep your eyes out for our next giveaway, which will probably be around Mother's Day again. But we appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Bye.